Okay. So yeah, so we'll also look at the biostatistics and regulations. When I say regulations, everything which you buy, every product is has some regulations. So if you take a food product, for example, if you are going to buy a ghee from a product, or if you can take any food, any biscuits, whatever it is, each product will have some regulatory body. Regulatory body in the sense, if you take food products, you will have agmark symbol, right? So agmar ghee and all you would have seen in ads, right? So each product, and if you take any medicine, so if you are going to take a paracetamol or any other tablets, in that sense, that tablet will have some regulations, because each and every product which we buy, we consume, whatever it is, it will have some regulatory body. Regulatory body is something which will control the standards, so to assure that the product is having a fine quality. Okay, so for that case, we'll have a regulatory body. For medical devices also, we have regulatory bodies. So since medical devices are dealing with the human life, right? For example, a simple thermometer won't cause any harm to the body. But if you take an MRI machine, or if you're going to take a CT machine, in that case, you are going to send a live human body into that machine, right? So one human has to go through that machine, right? So in that case, that MRI machine and that CT machine will have lot of regulatory standards, lot of regulatory protocols it has to follow, because we have to ensure the safety of the human life, right? So that's why regulation is very important. Okay, we'll also see that in fifth unit. So fifth unit is full about design and development of medical devices and systems. So in that we'll see about regulations in more detail. So first unit is just a simple topic they have given, and in first unit itself they have three different subsections. So first section is about basics, okay, and second section is about the biopotential and biosensors. So this is like very very important for any medical device. So this is like the foundation for your entire medical electronics course. So entire medical electronics degree will start from this biosensor. So biosensor is something which will pick up the signal from the human body. Okay, so this is the one thing we have to be very very clear about. Okay, so this section deals with the different types of biosensors. Okay, so and biopotential also, so we'll go through all those things in the upcoming classes. Okay, and this one is about biosensors alone. So here you will start with how we are going to design a biosensor, and this is basically about the principles, types and applications. Okay, so first unit is about the basics. Second unit is about the electrode configurations and the amplifiers. So here you will study about different signals which we can take from the body. So ECG, EMG and all those things. So which we will be seeing in the upcoming lectures. Okay, so no need to go into the details and all. So here you will know how you are going to design a circuit. So this second unit is very very important, because it will give you the overview of the very important significant biosignals and how to record them and all. So this you have lab equipments also, you have exclusively for this unit. And first unit you will study some resistance, capacitance and inductance based circuits, which is also a lab experiment. Okay, and second unit you will have
Ma'am, tenor
this.
is present, ma'am.
Tenarasu is present. What time it is now, Tenarasu? You joined right now?
Ma'am, I have not got a link, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so hereafter be on time. Okay, let me check if I can
Ma'am,
change the
Okay.
Vijay
attendance.
also present, ma'am.
Vijay Raghavan also present. You also joined right now?
No, before 5 minutes, ma'am.
Before 5 minutes. Okay, let me just check. I don't know if Camo will open. Everyone just hold on. Let me just quickly change the attendance for these guys. Tenarasu and Vijay Raghavan, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, luckily it changed. So I'm not sure, because usually in Camo the attendance will close within 10 minutes. Okay, so make sure you guys be present on time. Okay, so now it's changed.
Okay.
Ma'am.
Not an issue. Okay. Okay, ma. So let me continue. So in second unit, you'll study about the biosignals. Okay, so this is very very interesting unit. So you'll also be studying more advanced equipments in therapeutic equipments and upcoming courses and all. Okay, so higher semesters you will see more advanced instruments. So this is like a very to give you a tiny bit about the medical instrument. And third unit is about very basic but very important measurement equipments, which is blood pressure, blood volume, and cardiac output. So these three are like very very important for any test. If you go for a health checkup, if you take any family members for health checkup, they will always check the blood pressure, right? In hospitals, usually when you visit a hospital, they will first check the BP, temperature, body height, and weight, right? So BP is very very important, and we'll study how we are going to measure BP. So that is first topic. Second topic is about the blood volume. So blood volume is again very important, but usually they don't take blood volume measurement very commonly, because when you measure BP itself, you can find out the volume. You know the relationship between the pressure and volume, right? So we can easily derive from that. So they don't usually go for blood volume measurement, but again we'll see how we can measure the blood volume using these techniques. And third one is cardiac output. So cardiac output is very very important. So you guys would have studied about if I'm going any fast, or if you guys are able to if you guys are not able to follow me, you can stop me then and there. Okay, so without doubt now you can ask me. So in between like etalo, okay, or at the end of the lecture also you can ask me. I'm always available to answer. Okay. Okay. So cardiac output measurements la you can see different techniques of cardiac output. Cardiac abdinale it's related to heart. Okay. So heart is very very important system for our human body. So if you take the human body, you will have the human brain and human heart. So heart and brain are like the master controllers of the human system, right? So brain will control all the activities, heart will control the blood circulation. So blood circulation la very very vital part வந்து ஹார்ட்டுக்கு தான். ஸோ அந்த ஹார்ட்டோட blood pumping வந்து we'll see in this section. So here also you'll have some lab experiments for blood pressure measurement and patient monitoring system. So all these things are available in our medical instrumentation lab. Since all equipments are here in the lab, I am not sure if we can show the equipments virtually, but anyway, I'll give you during the lab hours, I'll give you an overview of the experiment and how we are measuring that. All those things I'll tell you. While you are coming to college, also we'll explain and we'll do those experiments. Okay. And fourth unit is about the clinical laboratory instruments. So again, these are like the instruments which you can find in a lab which is found in a hospital. So if you take any uh, blood test, for example, if you are going to measure the blood glucose, cholesterol, or any other test from the blood, so in that cases that lab will have all these equipments. So this is like the basic instruments which you can find in any medical laboratory. So in clinical sites, any test laboratory, if you go and visit, you can find most of the equipments here listed here will be available there. Okay, so we also see about that one. And there is also experiment for that one, which is listed in the experiments which we can do. And fifth unit, like I said, it's about the design of biomedical devices. You can ask me like, you are just getting into the medical instrumentation domain, so you are just getting started with the core subject, right? But they have given the design and development of biomedical devices for you, not for the higher semester papers. Why? Because these are like the things you should know before designing any medical device. So you can see in the first unit you have started with the basics, right? But then in fifth unit, you are given the exposure to the design and development of biomedical devices and systems, which means each and every one of you at the end of fifth unit, you should be able to design a biomedical device or a system virtually. So that is what is expected out of you once you complete this course. Okay. So I have actually created a teams for you. So totally 25 students are there, right? But so far only 17 students have enrolled right now. Uh, so based on the list, I'll separate you as teams. Okay. So Each team has to come up with some ideas and presentations, group discussions, lot of activities I have planned for this course. So it's not just theory, exam and stuff. Okay, so this course will have a lot of group activities, and for lab also you will be doing the experiments as the group only. Okay, so I'll share the group list once the class is over. Okay, so enough with the syllabus. Let me just show you this quick video. So this is about the latest medical procedures which are happening all across the world. Okay, so just let me play this. So let me just quickly pass this here. So this is one of the advanced medical equipment as per the list. So why do you think this is important? Can anyone answer? So it's basically like a crutch for people who have legs injured. So why do you think this is important? Anyone?
கால் அடிபட்டு இருந்தா
கால்ல அடிபட்டிருந்தவங்க they are using this, right? So very good. So the thing is, when you have an injured leg, so we can't walk with our full load. So legs வந்து usually with normal legs we don't actually feel the significance of the leg, but when it is injured, when we can't walk, we can't be able to distribute the load equally in both legs. So ரெண்டு லெக்லயுமே வந்து load வந்து equal distribute பண்ண முடியாது, right? So in that cases, this equipment will help the people to carry their load, which means if you see the previous picture, so here you can see it helps to transfer the stress and strain of the hands, wrist and underarm. So the total weight of the body, the mass and the center of alignment is transferred to this device, which will carry the weight of the this limb. Okay, so when you are going to design such device, in the மாதிரி ஒரு device when you are going to design, you should be able to understand the biomechanics of the body. So only if you know the biomechanics. So for example, if you take a cycle, so if you take a cycle and if you want to ride a cycle, you should be able to know how to balance yourself in the cycle, right? So you'll have two wheels, that two wheels have to be properly aligned with your body, only then you will be able to successfully ride a cycle, right? Same way, this body has to equally balance the load with the leg and the medical equipment. So designing such device has to give you a overview of the biomechanics of the body. So biomechanics is one paper which you will be studying in your higher semesters. Okay, so for to be able to develop these things, you should know the biomechanics. So that's the first one. Let me move on to the next one. So why I am telling all these things is to give you a overview of the medical instrumentation. So syllabus irrelevant, don't think that this is not relevant to syllabus, not related to course and all. Each and everything I am saying, each and everything I am showing is relevant to this course. Okay, so the second equipment, if you look at this, so this is a human lung. In human lung, they are inserting a catheter. So if you look at the procedure again clearly, so this is the tube which is inserted to the lungs. So the tube travels and it is moved to the bronchioles of the body. So bronchioles are the small tiny structures inside your lungs, right? You would have studied anatomy and physiology. Am I right? Have you guys completed anatomy and physiology?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I know I don't have to explain that, right? Okay, great. So here if you see here, this catheter, it expands and then it closes. So why this is important is in case of asthma, that is severe asthma, they have mentioned that here, right? So in case of severe asthma, this device will be inserted inside the lungs through the nose or through the mouth, and then it will expand and open the airway. So basically asthma is when your lungs are not able to expand and help you in breathing, right? So when you're not able to breathe, which means that the airway pipe is closed. So it's same like your pipe or any pipe which is found in your kitchen or anywhere. So if the water pipe is clogged, what you will do? You will remove the clog, right? So that the water will flow. Similarly, in lungs, when it is clogged or when it is closed, this tube will move there and it will open the airway so that the patient can breathe easily. Okay, so again, this is simple, but then it's a very effective instrument which is invented by Boston Scientific. Okay, so that's the second one, and this is your third one. So if you see, that guy is not having any fingers, but then there is an artificial device which can help him carry weights, do the actions like natural fingers, right? So the fingers are made of plastic, and then he's able to do all the actions with this artificial fingers, right? So this is a device called a prosthetic. So prosthetic is something which you will fix to the body when these body parts are not available. So if the person has lost his fingers, hands, legs, in case of any accidents or something, in that case they will put this prosthetic in the hand or leg, and then that will help the patient to recover their normal activities. Okay, so that's the one. So I'm explaining all this because I'm going to give an activity based on this video. Okay, so this is same like the device which we have seen before, but then a different mechanism here is used. So this is used to remove the blood clots. So in the blood vessels, if there is any clot, in case of heart attack and all, if there is any clot in the blood vessels, the person blood supply will be blocked. So in that case, the person will get the heart attack, which is called myocardial infarction. So this device will remove the blood clot. So this is one interesting device which will stop the blood clot immediately. So usually what happens during blood clot? Can anyone tell me what happens when there is a cut in your finger? The blood will be flowing continuously, or will it stop after some time?
It will stop, ma'am.
It will stop, right? So it's a natural mechanism which is present in our human body. But in some cases, if there is any abnormality in the body, the blood will not stop. Okay, so it will keep on bleeding. So in that cases, for example, if you take a surgery, so if they make a deep cut, the blood will keep on flowing. So in that cases, if they are going to close that space, if they are going to immediately stop the blood flow, this device will be very, very helpful. Also, there is some special conditions wherein the patients will have blood loss always, so they don't have this blood clotting mechanism naturally present. So in that special cases also, this device will be very helpful. So this device is a robotic pill. So you take tablets, right? This one is a robotic pill. What it will do is it will deploy the drug only when it reaches the specific space. So this is same like the first device which we saw, the crutch. So this might look very simple, but if you look at the design, it's a very, very sophisticated design. When I say sophisticated, so a lot of trials and errors have been going through to design such a device. Why I'm saying this is because this girl, she has to carry her weight through the elbow, and then it has to be transferred to the crutch. So which means this elbow will be constantly in touch with the crutch. So the longer she uses the crutch, the longer she might feel numbness and pain. So while designing such devices, the designer has to keep in mind how easily the patient can use and how long the patient can use. So now you can see she's taking a long walk in the park. So which means she'll be using it for 1 or 2 hours. So 1 or 2 hours when she is using that, she should not feel any pain, she should not feel any numbness or any discomfort. So lot of things are going to go into consideration when you are going to devise such crutches. Not just crutches, any device. So this is interesting because you will be studying one paper on this, which is called Biomaterials and Artificial Organs. So here they are going to repair the knee damage. So that's one thing which is shown there. So I'm not going into the details of that. And this also is concerned with biomaterials. So here they are going to completely reconstruct the face of that person. Okay, so in that cases they will design new cells, new materials which can easily be adaptable to the body. So you will be studying all those things in the higher semester, which is biomaterials and artificial organs. So here they are using artificial nose, artificial fingers, which is silicone based. So all these are like designed specifically for a patient. So when a patient is not having any finger, missing a toe, so a lot of research is going in these topics and all. So here they are going to do a surgery on the brain to remove the tumors. So when you are going to do a surgery in brain, it has to be very, very, very precise because brain has lots and lots of nerves. So in that case, you have to deal with the equipments very carefully. So the surgeon will hold special tools that will enable him to do the surgery, right? So this is just a quick video which I showed. So why I showed this video, I'll tell you at the end of the class. Okay, so now we'll go to the first topic in your first unit. Okay, let me just quickly share my screen. Yeah. Is my screen visible? Yes. Are you guys able to see the PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, so this is your first topic in your first unit, which is basic concepts of medical instrumentation. So, like I said, your first unit deals with the basics, right? So, what is a medical instrument and stuff like that. So, if I go to the next slide, this is a video which I'll send you later. That link is not opening in PDF thing. Okay, so this is important slide. Global medical device industry to 2024. So you guys are studying medical electronics. Now we are in second year. So by the end of 2024, lot of medical devices are going to be in the market because the need for personalized healthcare is one thing which is where the world is heading to. If you imagine you are owning a mobile phone, so everyone has a mobile phone, right? So each mobile phone will have a different font, different colors, different themes, different wallpapers, right? So you customize your mobile phone for your interest, right? So similarly, The healthcare system also can be personalized. That's what the medical device industry is moving forward to. For example, if I'm having some medical condition, for example, if I'm not able to breathe properly, if I'm having an asthma or something, my medical device will be customly designed, or it will be customized according to my needs. So each care which I'm receiving, for example, the BP measurement, or if I'm having any other uh, measurement, or whatever I'm going through, any medical procedure I'm going through, that will be customized according to my needs. So that is what is personalized healthcare. So that will be like the future of medical device industry. So by the end of 2024, this 10 according to the research, market means, for example, medical device market is somewhere where all the medical device products are launched, so by manufacturers. For example, if you know Philips, Siemens, GE Healthcare, lot of medical device manufacturers are there. Medtronic is one of them. So lot of devices manufacturers are there. So wherever they launch the product, that's a medical device market. India is a very very huge market because we have lot of population, right? So since a lot of people are here, there is also a very good scope for medical device market here. That's why a lot of centers are established to make the medical devices in India. So lot of centers are established across the country where you can own a startup, where you can have your own company, you can design your own medical products, you can launch the product,
Ma'am,
right?
sorry
So
for the
yeah,
ma'am.
yes, yes, yeah. Tell me,
Ma'am, sorry for the interruption, ma'am.
tell me, da.
Your voice is breaking,
Sorry, I can't hear you.
breaking, ma'am.
My voice is breaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to
No,
hear me
ma'am.
now?
No, ma'am. Clear தான் கேக்குது. Ma'am, clearly speaking.
Is there
Ma'am,
anyone else
clear தான்
facing?
ma'am பேசுறீங்க.
Clear தான் பேசுறேனா? Okay. Induja, am I audible now? He's not here. Okay, fine. So lot of scope is there in the medical device market. So that's why if you see lot of IT companies, they have started their healthcare domain. So if you see HCL, they have started a HCL healthcare. So HCL healthcare is mainly focused on designing medical devices and developing medical devices. So medical device industry பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் you have lot of scope where you can get into jobs, you can start your own company, you can design your own medical device, but then it has to be under the regulatory controls. You have to follow some protocols and standards, right? So these are the top 10 device areas for sales. For example, here they have shown in vitro diagnostics. So in vitro diagnostics அப்படின்னா within the body itself, for example, wearable systems. இப்போ நிறைய பேர் வந்து you use the smart watch, right? So smart watch will give you the heart rate and then the number of steps you have walked, your BP, lot of things. Apple Watch and lot of companies are devising this smartwatch. So in vitro is where you can wear a device and it will give you updates about your health. So that's in vitro diagnostics. Second one is cardiology. So cardiology is one thing which is having a lot of scope. So it deals with the study of the heart and heart related diseases. So that's second group. Third one is diagnostic imaging. When I say imaging, you have exclusive papers on radiological equipment, so that, and then medical imaging techniques. So in these courses, which will be in your fifth or sixth sem, I suppose, so in that courses you will be studying about the different techniques where you can take the images of the human body. When I say images, one common image where you can find in the hospital is x-ray. So lot of you know about x-rays, right? So x-ray is one imaging modality. So likewise you will have MRIs, CT scan, all those things. So that is one domain. And fourth one is orthopedics. Orthopedics is related to the study of the bone. So this is important in case of healing the bone fractures. So previously in the video we saw about crutches and some prosthetic devices and all, right? So orthopedics is aligned with that one. And fifth one is ophthalmics, which is related to the eye. So eye and eye related product development. Sixth one is related to plastic surgery. So we have seen in the video where the entire face is reconstructed, right? So that plastic surgery is another one domain. Endoscopy. Endoscopy is where you look inside the body. Endo means inside. Scopy means to view. So endoscopy means you are going to look inside the human body. So maybe some of you might have seen it in the hospitals or heard about it. So basically what they will do is they will insert a tube inside the human mouth. So in that tube, tip of the tube, there will be a tiny camera. So that camera will help the doctor to look into the intestine, and then through the stomach all these internal organs can be viewed through the endoscopy. And eighth one is drug delivery. So in the video we have seen one robotic pill, right? So that tablet will travel inside the body, and it will specifically reach the point where it has to deliver the drug. So that is drug delivery. And ninth one is dental. So dental is like very very massive scope is there. So dental and dentistry is right now it's at its peak, because lot of clinicians, they are doing this 3D printed teeth and all. So in dentistry it's basically related to the patient needs, right? So each one will have a different cavity structure, the teeth structure will be different, alignment will be different, so a lot of things are happening there. So all these things you will be studying about, the materials and all will be studying in biomaterials course. And 10th one is diabetics care. I'll say in India diabetes care is at its top, because this diabetes is like at a growing rate in the past few years. So in India specifically, diabetes care might have a very good scope in the future. So that's about the global medical device industry in the 2024. So this is like a projection, so it might change, and the diabetes care might come to the top in India. Okay, so moving on to the contents. So in today's class we'll see only these three things. Okay, so I don't want to bore you with my lecture, so I'll just cover these three topics for today. Okay, first one is definition. What is a health technology? WHO is the World Health Organization. So World Health Organization, recently you would have heard over the past 1.5 years, because of this COVID pandemic. So WHO will always release a statement regarding the COVID protocols, safety precautions, all those things. So WHO is the World Health Organization, which will give the instructions and protocols for the people all over the world. So these are like the regulatory body for the healthcare system. Okay. So this World Health Organization defines health technology as the application of organized knowledge and skills in the form of devices, medicines, vaccines, procedures, and systems developed to solve a health problem and improve the quality of life. So, ultimately, a health technology should solve a health problem and it should improve the quality of life for a human. So, that is what a health technology is. Okay, so that's the basic definition for health technology. And according to WHO, definition of a medical device. So, what is a medical device? Medical device, then an article, instrument, apparatus, or a machine that is used to prevent, diagnosis, or treatment of a disease, or for detecting, measuring, restoring, correcting, modifying the structure or function of the body for some health purpose. So this might seem like a very simple definition, but if you look at each word carefully, each word carries a different meaning. So an article, it can be any medical document, it can be a small instrument like a thermometer, it can be an apparatus. So for example, any lab equipment, lab apparatus like a pipette, cuvette, whatever it is, or it can be a machine like ECG, or it can be like MRI machine, something like that. So anything can be a medical device, provided it should prevent. So whether it is used to prevent a disease, so disease varamas stop பண்ணலாம், or it is used to diagnose in the sense whether the disease is present or not. For example, if you take a BP machine, so BP apparatus பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, that BP machine will give you whether the person is having high BP or low BP. So basically it is used to diagnose the BP condition, right? So diagnose அப்படின்னா to detect அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். So diagnosis or treatment. Treatment in the sense whether you are whether you use the machine to treat a problem. For example, if you take a cancer therapy machine, you will use a gamma rays. So gamma rays will be used to destroy the cancer cells. So in that case, that machine is used to treat the cancer, right? So that is the treatment. Or if you take an ultrasound therapy, so ultrasound use பண்ணி ultrasound வச்சு diagnoseம் பண்ணலாம், treatmentum பண்ணலாம். So ultrasound can be used in both ways. In ultrasound for diagnosis, you would have seen the scan, right? So if you take a pregnancy scan, so where the ultrasound is used to give the health condition of the baby. ஸோ பேபியோட ஃபீட்டல் டெவலப்மெண்ட் பேபி எப்படி இருக்குது அப்படின்னு பார்க்குறதுக்கு அல்ட்ராசவுண்டை டயக்னோசிஸ்க்கு யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். The same ultrasound can be used to treat any tumor or any kind of tissue present in the body. So ஏதாவது ஒரு cancer tissue or any other abnormal body tissue growth இருந்தது அப்படின்னா that same ultrasound can be used to destroy that abnormal growth of the tissue. Okay, so எப்படி நம்ம அந்த மெஷினை யூஸ் பண்ணுறோன்றதை பொறுத்து we can say what is a medical device. And it can be also used for detect. So detect in the sense same like diagnosis, whether it is normal or abnormal we can check. Second one is measuring. What is the range? So measurement is very very important. So in basic measurements and instrumentation you would have studied about the different units of measurement, right? So ஒவ்வொரு இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்க்கும் என்ன யூனிட்ஸில் மெஷர் பண்ணுவோம், all those basic things you would have studied in the previous course, right? And then restore. Restore in the sense you are going to bring back the normal function. For example, in the video we saw this crutch, right? So that crutch is used to bring back the normal function of the body. So this will enable the person to walk normally, right? So basically what you are doing is you are going to regain the walking of the person. So in that case it is used to restore the function, or it can be used to correct or modify the structure of or function of the body. So this simple 3-line definition has lot of meaning, and it is very very important that you remember this definition. So it is used to prevent, diagnose, treatment, or it is used for detect, measure, restore, or correct or modify the structure or function of the body. Okay, so that is about the definition. So this definition is like repeated 2-mark question, I can say. Always in all the exams you will be asked what is a medical device, define a medical device. So this is one sure 2-mark question you can expect. Moving on to the medical equipment. So in medical equipment, what are the things which is generally done? So in medical devices, they always need a calibration, maintenance, repair, user training, and decommissioning. So normally when you say in a hospital, when you buy a medical equipment, for example, if you say you are going to make the hospital buy a CT machine. So CT scan machine வாங்குறாங்க அப்படின்னா they have to calibrate. Calibration is something which is used to make the machine to the default factory settings. For example, if you take your mobile phone, so mobile phone இருக்கு, மொபைலில் வந்து if you are having lot of issues and if you are not able to debug the issues, what you will do, you will restore the factory settings, right? So in that case the mobile will come back to the previously saved default settings. So calibration is something like that. So lot of medical equipments, they always have a regular calibration in the sense they will always have some default values. So this engineer who is maintaining that equipment, he will calibrate this equipment. So calibration is maintaining the default values for all the equipments. And maintenance, so we have to do a lot of maintenance for all the equipments, because when we say medical equipments we are dealing with the human lives, right? So right from a simple thermometer to a complex CT machine, whatever equipment you are using, you have to calibrate, you have to maintain. If it is repaired, you have to service it, and then you have to give proper training for the engineer who is handling the equipment, because we are dealing with the human lives, right? So that is very important. And then medical equipments can also be used alone, or it can be used with other equipments. So basically all the medical equipments we use it in a combination, right? So if you take an ICU ward, there is not a single equipment. We'll always have a pulse oximeter, there will be some monitor which will be showing different waveforms, right? And then you will have a ventilator. So the patient will be attached to a combination of multiple medical devices. So that is about the second point. So you can either use it alone or you can use it in the combination depending on the situation and the severeness of the injury. For example, if a person is having fever, we won't connect him to the ICU ward, right? So we'll just measure the temperature and then we'll give some tablets. But if the person is having a very severe accident, in that case the person will be kept in an ICU ward, and then you will be connecting the patient to different medical equipments for monitoring, right? So depending on the injury and also depending on the need. So that is about the medical equipment combination. And then one important thing which you have to remember very very clearly is a medical equipment excludes implantable, disposable, or single use medical devices. So implantable in the sense if you are going to place any equipment which is placed inside the human body. For example, in case of heart diseases, you would have heard about pacemaker, right? Artificial pacemakers, have you heard about it? Anyone? Yes, no? You can also type in the chat box if you're not comfortable in unmuting and answering. Are you guys there? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Heard about pacemaker?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what happens in a pacemaker? எதுக்கு pacemaker யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம்? Any idea?
ஹார்ட் கரெக்டா ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஆகாதவங்களுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க.
Exactly, very good. So pacemaker is something which is kept inside the heart to help the heart function normally. So simply சொல்லணும்னா when the heart is not functioning properly. So in case of your anatomy and physiology, you would have studied about the pacemaker function, right? So SA node length, it goes to the AV node, and through the Purkinje fibers the electrical signals will be transmitted to the heart. So only when the electrical impulse is transmitted, the heart will pump the blood. So on the electrical signal transmit ஆகல அப்படின்ற பட்சத்துல the heart won't be able to function normally, right? So in that case, when that electrical system fails, you will place an artificial pacemaker inside. So that is an implantable pacemaker. அதுல வந்து இப்போ மேல சொன்ன பாயிண்ட் எதுவுமே வந்து you can't do, because once the pacemaker is kept inside, you can't take it every week and calibrate and maintain it, right? So அந்த மாதிரி implantable devices எல்லாமே வந்து you can't say it's a medical equipment, because in medical equipment we do this regular calibration, maintenance and stuff, right? So in the many implantable devices that point is not applicable. Second one is disposable or single use medical devices. For example, if you take a glove or if you take a mask, for example, mask is one medical device, but it is a disposable mask. So once you use it, you throw it away, right? So you won't keep it, calibrate it, or you won't do any stuff with it, right? So the surgical gloves, all these things are disposable single use medical devices. So adukku vandu you don't need this calibration and stuff. Okay, so that is this point. So we have seen the definition, and also we have seen what are the things we do with the medical device. And these are some books where you can find the encyclopedia of medical devices. So you can just download any one of this book where you will find hundreds of topics in medical devices. So lot and lots of medical devices, acronyms, all those things are there. So in this specifically, I have downloaded this one, Encyclopedia of Medical Devices and Instrumentation, and Medical Terminology and Illustrated Guide. So the first and last one I have already downloaded. I will share it with you. Okay, so I'll also upload it in the Moodle page. You can refer it. So that will be very helpful for you. So wherever you go, whatever domain you choose, or whenever you find any difficulty in understanding any medical device and its functionality, this book will be always helpful. Okay, so that you can use. And also there is a web, Engineering Village, Science Citation Index, and PubMed. So these are the websites where you can find the articles related to medical devices. It's not exclusively for medical device. These three are the search engine kind of stuff. So if you go to Google, you will get all kind of information, right? So similarly, all these three websites, they have lot of information, but when you search for a specific medical device, you can get lot of scientific articles from that particular website. Okay, so that is one thing. And okay, so this block diagram, this is very very important block diagram. If you look at the block diagram, so this is a generalized medical instrumentation system. So this is one sure shot 8 mark or 16 mark you can expect in your final NSEM examination, because this is a very very basic but yet very very important question. So in a very general medical instrumentation system, so this is like a common block diagram. So here you can find a human body. In human body, you are going to measure some value. For example, if you are going to measure the blood pressure, for instance. Okay, so measurement is something which you are going to measure from the body. Okay, so that is what is called a measurand. Second one is sensor element. A sensor element will help you take the biological signal and then convert it to a electrical signal. So it can be a sensor or a transducer. So that I'll explain it in the next slide. So you will have a primary sensing element and then you have a variable conversion element. So sensor is something which will sense the biological signal. A transducer is something which will convert that into an electrical signal. So these two things will take the biological signal and then convert it to electrical signal. And then you have a power source for this conversion element. Okay, so only when you have a power source your circuit will work, right? So you have a power source, and then for display also you have this power source connected. So display unit is, it can be a monitor or it can be CRO, whatever it is. And then in between that you have a signal processing unit. So signal processing unit is very very important because you'll be studying signals and systems and biosignal processing in those papers and all. You'll be studying about details about signal processing, but here you will be just studying about the amplifier system. Okay, so amplifier is one simple part of the signal processing circuit. So amplifier, what it will do, it will take the input signal and then it will increase or decrease. What it will do, what's the function of amplifier?
Increase.
Increase the output, right? So the amplifier will amplify your input signal. Very good. So in signal processing circuit, lot of subsections are there. You have a filter circuit, you have amplifier circuit, you have signal conditioning circuit, lot of things are there. So in your syllabus you have just the amplifier. Okay, so this is about the signal processing. So you will take the biological signal, you have a sensing unit, conversion unit, power source, signal processing and output. And then here if you can see you have a data storage and data transmission. So right now if you look at the healthcare devices, this data storage and data transmission are going into the research domain because a lot of research is happening there. So like I said, when you use a smartwatch, so when you use a Fitbit or any other smartwatch, you have to store the data. So continuously it will be taking the body signals, right? So it will be taking BP, it will be taking heart rate, all those things. So it has to, that tiny watch has to store the data continuously, and also it has to transmit. So this data storage and data transmission or like right now the lot of research is happening there. And then like I said, calibration. So when you take a biological signal to an instrument, that instrument has to be calibrated before. Calibrated is setting the default value for that instrument. So before connecting the instrument to the patient, that medical instrument has to be calibrated. So you have a calibration signal. And then there is a separate radiation or electric current or any other applied energy. So this is specifically for treatment purpose. So this separate block is for treatment purposes. For example, like I said, cancer therapy, in that cases they will connect a specific radioactive source. So that radioactive source will be pointed to the direction of the tissue or organ where that cancer cells will be destroyed using gamma radiation or any other radiation. Okay, so that's a separate circuit. So this is specific for a equipment. So this is not generally present in all the equipments. Depending on which instrument you are using, it will be present. And then very very important, there is a control and feedback system. So whatever the output you are getting, you have to give a feedback so that you will be able to measure the signal correctly. Okay, so this is very very important block diagram. Let me repeat the functionality again. So you have a measurement where you will be taking the biological signal. So measurement is, it can be temperature, blood pressure, or it can be uh, blood glucose level, whatever it is. Okay, so measurement is any quantity you are going to measure from the body. Sensing element is, it will measure the physiological parameter. So it will measure the level of blood glucose, it will measure the level of temperature, right? So sensing element is which is used to measure the value. And then you have a conversion element. This element will convert the physiological parameter to a electrical parameter. So a sensor unit together with a conversion unit is called a transducer. Okay, and then you have a signal processing circuit which will amplify or filter, it will condition the signal, and then it will be sent to the output unit which is your monitor or CRO. Okay, and then you have a power source for your conversion element and then for your output unit. And then you have data storage, data transmission to collect the data and transmit the data. You have a calibration signal which is used to calibrate your instrument before using it. And then there is separate energy source for your treatment purposes. And then there is a control and feedback system. Is this clear? Any doubt in the block diagram? Are you guys able to follow? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So Whatever I said right now, I have given the definitions in this upcoming slides. So measurement is any quantity, property or condition that the system measures. So important measurements are your blood biopotential, pressure, flow, dimension, displacement, impedance, temperature and chemical concentration. So inside the body we can measure the blood pressure. So whatever is happening inside, for example this blood pressure, blood volume, blood flow, all these things are taken from the outside, but the parameter is actually happening inside, so that is internal. And from the surface we can occur the ECG signals. So you'll be placing different electrodes on the body and you'll be measuring it, and which is emitted from the body. For example, I said about the IR thermometer, right? So infrared thermometer, it will take the heat which is emitted from the body. So whatever the heat the body surface is emitting, that heat will be measured as a temperature. So infrared radiation. And whatever is derived from a tissue sample, for example biopsy, in case of cancer and all, people used to take a tissue sample. So what they will do is they will insert a long needle, and then at that particular spot they will pick up a small piece of tissue, and then they will take it to the labs for testing. Okay, so either the parameter can be taken from the internal, or it can be measured from the surface, or it can be measured from the body, that is emitted from the body, or it can be derived from the tissue sample. Okay, so these are the different measurements. Second one, this definition is very very important. So sensor is something which takes the physical value and converts to which takes the physical value and measures it. Transducer will convert it to another form. Okay, so the difference between sensor and transducer, you have to be very very clear. Sensor will just measure the signal, transducer will measure it and then convert it. Okay, so a sensor unit will measure the blood pressure or blood glucose, whatever it is, and then transducer will have sensor unit along with the signal conditioning unit, which will convert the non-electrical quantity to a electrical quantity. So this definition, again this is a very repeated question, again and again you will find this question in your question papers. Differentiate between a sensor and a transducer. Even in your viva you might be able to you might expect a question from the external, from the from this slide. Okay, and okay, with this I'll stop. This is the last slide. Okay, so this is like the different operational modes. So when I say operational modes, for example if you take your mobile will have different brightness settings, right, or volume settings, whatever it is. So if you take your mobile phone you will have different options. So if you are going for outdoor, you will have outdoor ringing mode. So or if you put it in vibration mode, the mobile will only vibrate, right? Or if you put it in silent mode, no sounds, nothing, no vibration, nothing, right? So your mobile phone have lot of operating mode, right? Same like your mobile phone, the medical device will have lot of operating modes. So when I say operational modes, you have 5 different classifications. First one is measure and interface, second one is monitoring, third one is energy source, fourth one is signals, and fifth one is output. So when I say measure and interface, so interface is something which is acting as a boundary. So in the interface என்ற word வந்து it's very very important terminology. ஸோ இது வரைக்கும் நம்ம பார்த்த வேர்ட்ஸில் வி ஹவ் சீன் சென்சார்னா என்னென்னு பார்த்துருக்கோம், டிரான்ஸ்டியூசர் பார்த்துருக்கோம். அதே மாதிரி இன்டர்ஃபேஸ்ன்ற இந்த வேர்டு வந்து இட்ஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஸோ இன்டர்ஃபேஸ்னா இட் இஸ் ஆக்டிங் அஸ் அ பவுண்ட்ரி. ஓகே, ஸோ measurement interface பொறுத்து we can say whether the measurement is direct operational mode or indirect operational mode. For example, if I say you are going to measure the blood pressure, so blood pressure measure பண்றதுக்கு we have different techniques. அதில் வந்து when you say direct BP measurement, the blood vessels inside the blood vessels you will insert a tube that will give you the blood pressure. So that is direct measurement. So directly from the blood vessel you are measuring the blood pressure. Second one is indirect. In indirect you won't insert any tube inside the body, but what you will do is you will use a sphygmomanometer. So sphygmomanometer normally you will see in all the hospitals, right? So they insert a cuff, they will rotate that band over the hand and they will inflate the cuff so that there is a pressure. When the pressure is released, the blood vessels will open and based on that they will measure the blood pressure, right? So the mercury level in the level irko adha base panni they will find out whether it is high BP or low BP. So that is indirect way of measuring your blood pressure. So measurement interface can be categorized into direct measurement and indirect measurement. Second one is monitoring. So in monitoring, you can have two different setups. One is sampling, another one is continuous. When I say sampling, you will be measuring at particular interval of time. So if you have studied signals and systems, you will understand it much clear. Have you studied signals and systems?
No, ma'am.
No, not yet. Okay, let me make it more simple. Okay, let me say if you are going to monitor, let's say, okay, simple temperature எடுத்துக்கலாம். So if a patient is in a hospital, if he is having severe fever and he is asked to, and the nurse is asked to measure the body temperature every 1 hour. So every 1 hour the nurse will come and then take the temperature, and then it will, and she will record it. Okay, so that is sampling. Sampling in the sense every particular interval of time you are taking the data. So every 1 hour the nurse will be measuring the patient's body temperature. But in case the person is affected with COVID, for instance, so in that case the doctor is asking the nurse to take the temperature continuously. So 1 hour, within 1 hour, within 2 hours, not like that. So throughout the day the body temperature has to be monitored. So in that case the nurse will be measuring the temperature all the time, 24 cross 7, right? So that is continuous measurement. So when you take a data at particular interval of time, then it is sampling. When you are taking it continuously, then it is continuous. So these are the two operating modes based on monitoring. Okay, first one is based on measurement interface, second one is based on monitoring. Third one is based on energy source. So energy source, whatever you are using, so this energy source, it is very important for your sensor. So some sensor, it will have an inbuilt power source. So in that case it is a generating sensor. So you don't have to separately connect a battery or power cord to that sensor. In some cases the sensor will act as a modulating sensor. So you have to connect it to a power circuit, and then it will match that power to its requirements. So based on the circuit which is designed inside the sensor will adjust the power of the input. Okay, so based on the energy source we can classify it as generating sensor and modulating sensor. So generating sensor will have its inbuilt power supply, modulating will not have any inbuilt power supply. Third one is based on the signal. So based on the signal, you can have it as analog signal or digital signal. So when I say analog and digital, one simple example I can say is about your watch. So you have an analog watch and a digital watch, right? So analog watch, you will have 2 to 3 pins which will be normally rotating, right? In digital watch, you will have the numbers which will be displayed. So same like signals. If you say another example which I can say is your blood pressure. So let me come back to the blood pressure, same example. So in blood pressure, when I say a sphygmomanometer, normally which you see in a hospital is a analog sphygmomanometer. So what you will see is you will just measure the BP and it will show the BP value using the mercury level fluctuation, right? So mercury level வந்து எங்க மூவ் ஆதோ அதை பொறுத்து தான் நம்ம வந்து BP சொல்லுவோம். But if you take a digital sphygmomanometer, the values will be displayed electronically. So that data can be given to a computer or it can be transferred to a phone or whatever it is. Another example which I can say is your weight checking machine. You would have seen that one, right? So you stand on the machine and the pin will be moving. So previously the weight machine will be an analog model. So it will be based on the load, whatever the load is kept on that machine, that pin will be moving towards that direction. But nowadays you have digital weighing machine. So in that digital weighing machine, directly you will get the electronic value. That electronic value can be transmitted to a phone or it can be transmitted to a computer, whatever it is, right? So the difference between analog and digital devices is that analog devices, it will just measure and show the value, but digital device, it will give it as a electronic value which can be transmitted to a computer, mobile, or whatever it is. Okay, so that's in simple terms. About this sampling, continuous time, analog, digital, all these things you'll be studying in signals and systems more clearly. Okay, I'm just giving you simple examples. And based on the output, you can say it as a real time output or delayed output. So real time, you all guys know very well, right? So in case if you are wearing your smartwatch and you are taking a jogging or you are running, that smartwatch is giving you real time, which means the value whatever your heart is pumping, let's say during jogging your heartbeat becomes very high, right? So and when you are running, it becomes more higher. In that case, Your smartwatch will give you real time values. So depending on your heartbeat, it will give you instant values, right? So that is real time. In delayed response, delayed output, you will get a delay in your values. For example, if you say, if you are giving a blood test, for example, if you are taken a blood sample and you are given it to a laboratory to test, in that case they will test the blood sample, they will do multiple tests, and then they will give you the result, whether the person is having any uh, any decrease in WBC count or RBC count, whatever it is, the output is delayed, right? So in that case, there is a delayed operational mode. So these are the different modes. Okay. So to summarize, we have seen what is a medical device, and this definition we have seen, and then how it is maintained, calibration we have seen, and then some books with the definition we have seen. We have seen also the block diagram, right? So each component of the block diagram also we have seen, and the different classifications inside each component, difference between a transducer and a sensor we have seen, and the different operational modes we have seen. Okay, is that clear? So with this we'll stop today's lecture. Okay, and next
ma'am.
class, okay, let me just stop the recording quickly. In next class we can have the remaining half. Okay.